And the last two things I want to say. The first one is, I had a parent ask me when we were going through the budget discussion last year about the Chinese immersion program, where the principal had decided to reduce to bring some equity so that the students in the neighborhood program didn't have 37 kids in their kindergarten class. But they wondered if in part of our feasibility study, we ever looked at the global market rather than just as an ESL, but if we talk about global citizens, how do we evaluate which is an emerging market, or what would best position our students in a global society? Are we looking at that? Yeah, which language, in deciding what language. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yes, we are looking at that. We're in conversation with community businesses. It's actually interesting, through the Portland Metro STEM Partnership, we do have a lot of conversations occurring with industry partners around Asian Pacific Rim languages and the fact that there's a much greater need than we're actually producing here. So languages such as Vietnamese, languages such as Chinese are highly sought after, and we really believe that is going to help recruitment as well, getting as many of those industry voices as we can into the conversation so people can see how we can become global leaders through this kind of expansion.
But are we seeking any data rather than anecdotal connection person to person?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at local industry data.
Okay, great.
Which fits us into the whole discussion that I think you've been having, Superintendent Smith, at the state level about our teacher prep programs and the fact that we need to be trying to attract and recruit more bilingual students into the teacher prep program. So that's another big piece of it. I mean, when you talk about implementing well, we need to have teachers who speak the language well.
Just sort of a question as we move forward. I mean, I think I absolutely support that our highest priority needs to be through the equity lens to serve our students of color and to close the achievement gap. So that's the priority here and what you're planning. But as we move forward, hopefully with more expansions year on year, are we also potentially at a place where if there's demand, I mean, even though the one-way, could we potentially expand even if we don't have enough native speakers of that language where we could expand just to provide it, even though that's a lower priority at this point, and I totally support and get that we can continue expansion even beyond the two-way.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're not just looking at the one-way model. I mean, yields results that are better than average for sure. But we're, even as we look at the Jefferson cluster, where we don't necessarily have emerging bilinguals, we are looking at a one-way model there, and there's nothing to keep us from looking at one-way models and pockets of the district where we don't have emerging bilinguals.
Yeah, no, that's
like
great.
the West Side, too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We've won.
There's zero. Yeah.